sorted out here and started. Um, but this is yeah the let me just get this started here. But yeah, you could send the link to anybody
Got it.
you
I'm
want.
doing that right now.
And I already have on at least on this platform I have like 300 and like 74 subscribers. So like people will probably tune in and stuff like that. So that way we can
Okay.
have like questions like as we go, but as you're like as we're yeah just sharing your story. Really the whole goal of this is to go behind the scenes of like just kind of like your backstory of like first of all like what led you to this point of building what you're doing. That's why you know how there's like
Mhm.
behind the scenes in
Yeah, yeah.
like of like
Got it.
certain things. This is like called
Yeah.
behind the magic because I'm also a magician. So um
Oh,
yeah. So
that's
some of
really interesting.
yeah, so that's for me, I really like the idea of taking things that seem impossible and making it possible, right? So I connecting that concept, and that's why I really got obsessed with like, founders and like people who have built like successful companies, like going from like zero to like, billions of dollars in revenue, and
Hmm.
building like a unicorn company. The reason why is because most of the companies that become unicorn companies are the ones that are impacting the most lives, right? Because I don't think you can get to like billions in revenue if like you're not impacting the world in a like in a certain extent, right? If you're just like, but there are companies out there that do billions of dollars and still impact people in a negative way, right? So
Yeah, true.
that definitely obviously we won't I'm leaning towards the side of like people who are making a positive impact, right? um
Mhm.
so so that's why that's the whole point of this. Like I'm actually going to be doing a conference, going to a conference tomorrow.
Mm. Oh,
I mean not tomorrow, sorry, on March 25th,
okay.
and where it's like a business expo, like SMEs, and I'm
Right.
going to be doing like magic there in person, so that will be like behind the magic live. That'll be like the first pilot episode, but this is the first pilot like podcast live that I'm doing right now. So um
Oh, okay.
yeah, but yeah, maybe you can kind of share like to
Yeah,
anybody that's watching like the
definitely.
replay of this, like what where you're from,
Got it.
like what it is like, or where yeah, where you from, and like what are you currently building in short right now.
Okay, got it. I'm so sorry. I was like texting while you were speaking, but I'm completely listening. The link you sent me isn't working because I sent it to one of my team members. She wanted to join, and it says that she can't
Oh,
join.
she has
It
to.
says yeah, it says can't join stream. The host
Oh,
has
okay,
added
okay.
the maximum number of guests.
Oh, okay, you know what, here, let me send you. Okay, so you know what? When you're on, if you're on your YouTube, at the bottom right corner, do you see like
Okay.
there's a an arrow pointing to the right? Do you see that?
Y- no, not really.
Oh, okay. Hang on a
Yes,
second.
okay,
Let me
okay.
just,
I have it. Yeah, I found it. And then what do I do?
and then you just copy link.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
think I have that. Live chat. I see live chat and then top
Hang on.
chat and
Hey,
chat.
Hey, our busy. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a live podcast here. How's it going? Yeah. So hang on a second here. Let me just send this to your WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Hold on a
please,
second.
please do that.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Can you guys hear me? Oh. Uh, can you guys hear me? I think there's something wrong with my connection or something. No, my connection is good. Um, can you guys hear me?
Uh,
Hi, can you
don't worry.
guys hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, yeah. They can hear you. Yeah, they can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can hear it. It's good.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
hi.
We're all audible. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. If you guys are just tuning in right now, again, yeah, we're just doing the backstory of like Sarah. Sarah, maybe you can introduce yourself and then
Yeah, yeah,
share
yeah.
what it is that you're. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll do that right now. But I have a question out of
Yeah, for
curiosity.
sure.
You said you're a magician.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome. Have you watched the movie Now You See Me Now You Don't?
Yeah, yeah, now you see me, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. That's the first thing that came to mind when you said you're a magician, and then I was like, I remember the you remember the closer you look, the less you see.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's
Is
actually
that
pretty
true?
cool.
Is that
Well,
true, or
I
is
mean,
just like
I
in the
think
world of magic?
sometimes I think it's also in life too. Sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. When you're doing magic, sometimes they want you to look a certain way, right? Like if you got like, let's say, I want you to, focus on this pen here, and then I'm gonna like take off the cap, right? See? And then it's like actually on the other side, right? So I
Whoa.
got so so basically I'm getting you to like look somewhere, but really you got to look at the bigger picture, right? And so that's why even with founders, some people they look at the billions of dollars or super successful company,
Yeah.
like help millions of dollars exit, but they're focused so much on the money, but they don't see like the back end, the story behind it and
Yeah.
how they actually got
Yeah.
there and who they're actually impacting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, are busy. You said I was streaming with my in the winter with my golden retriever. Yeah, uh, I still, yeah, I have a golden retriever. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, maybe you could share what's your magic really like, kind of like what is something that you're building that seems, I guess, impossible to achieve, and you're making it
Yeah.
possible right now.
Okay, got it. So I'll just start with introducing myself. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. And my name is Sarah. And so I'm originally my parents are from Somalia, and I was born and raised in UAE in Abu Dhabi. That's the capital. And yeah, so I'll just take you in like a little years behind in the past, and I'll tell you how everything started. So, I'm actually a medical student, a fifth year actually, and like I got into medicine with the understanding because personally I had very horrible experiences with doctors. I mean, how many of you or like Jordan, tell me if any of you guys have had like encounterment with a doctor and you were like, this is really really bad, and I'm never coming back ever here ever again. Like, have you had that in the past?
Yes, yes. I was just saying hi because our busy is like, hey, shout out to me. Hey, our busy. Well, but yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we've been involved with like doctors many many times, and sometimes there's been, yeah, good experiences, and sometimes there's not, for sure. And also the wait as well. Like with like when you go to a hospital, you have to like wait so long before you can get like even seen, especially here in
Exactly.
in Canada. Here in Canada, it's like it's crazy. Like you could go in, bring your kid to like a hospital, and then it's like you're there for like the whole day. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I had this idea that doctors are like all evil, and I got into medicine wanting to be the change, like in healthcare. I wanted to be the change I want to see in the world. I know that it sounds like heroic and stuff, but like really, I genuinely had a thing for like, you know, helping. So that's why I got into medicine. And then like as I've seen my fair share of good and bad doctors as I study, and as I've been working with them rotating in hospitals, I saw a common problem, which
Mhm.
is first of all, um, do you guys know that doctors are actually they're subjected to unholy numbers of like amount of paperwork that they have to deal with, meaning like if you see how much documentation they have to do and the time it actually takes, you would
Mhm.
be very surprised. And this has actually caused like a problem. Why?
Mhm.
Because doctors are essentially in a state of, I have to choose whether I'm going to be efficient, or I'm going to, I'm going to focus on the patient and give them the best care ever. And I personally think you shouldn't choose between these two. They both have to be, together. And that's essentially how Align was born.
Mhm.
Align is basically the
How do you
healthcare
how do you spell
startup.
how do you spell line? Is it
Align,
A L I G
yeah,
N?
exactly how ALIGN. Exactly
Okay,
how it
align,
says.
yeah. Okay.
So align is essentially, in short, it's basically a AI driven platform that's going to help doctors in the process of documentation so that they don't really have to, sacrifice the time they spent with their patients just to finish and catch up with paperwork.
Mhm.
Like that shouldn't be an option. Like doctors should be, able to focus on their patients. And I've been like, I'm a fifth year student, and I've been like, working with different you know uh individuals across, like in many different countries, like in the States, in Georgia, in Turkey, in UAE, on like the focus of healthcare improvement. And also like helped me in going and taking the step to create a line. And
Mhm.
yeah, to be honest, like I feel like doctors shouldn't really choose between healthcare, like delivering best, standard healthcare, and you know like efficiency. They shouldn't choose between it. And actually, not every nine, like in every 10 doctors, there's around 8 doctors that suffer from burnout because of the amount of paperwork they have to deal with.
So like
So
80% basically, like yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
and that's like a
80%
big
experience. Oh
number.
yeah. Oh wow, that's crazy. Just from
And
just from
like
just
this
from
is
just
not
from just from paperwork, right?
exactly. And like and this problem is actually universal. Like it's not just, in like the in Europe, or like only in the Middle East. It's everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
something that all doctors face regardless of where they are.
Oh yeah, hang on,
And
sorry. Did you
like, to be
did
honest,
you did you see
um
Selma's sorry,
I
did you
don't
see
like
Selma's
this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm really really positive, and like, really happy with my team, because we all have two things in common. We want to see healthcare improvement, and second is, we're willing to go the extra mile, and we're willing to put in the work. So I'm happy.
That's
I'm
awesome. That's
happy with
awesome.
my team. And right now, as we speak, actually, we're working on securing our first round of investments, and we're looking for partners that really want to build with us and also challenge us, because a challenge is always important, and also like help us shape the future of healthcare, because healthcare needs to be improved, and this is not going to happen overnight, not even in 5 years.
Mhm.
But taking the step now, and with you need to have that, distant vision that it's gonna work out. And that's what we're doing, to be honest.
Okay. No, that's
And
awesome.
if anyone knows someone, or you are someone who could take that challenge, then let's build and reshape healthcare to the better.
That's awesome. I
And
love
yeah,
it. I love
guys,
it. Can you actually
like,
can you hear me? Can you hear me properly?
I can. Earlier
You
it
can hear
was
me?
lagging a little, but it's better now. Yeah.
Lagging a little. Okay, that's awesome. Do you know Selma? I think she just I think do you see the chat?
Wait, right, let me check. Yeah, I see it right now. Yeah, I
Give
do
her
see though.
give them a shout. Give them a shout out. Um, so let me ask you this. Okay, so do you have family that's in that's in healthcare? Oh, hey, Hatrix, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, do you have like family that's in healthcare right now? Like, is that kind
uh
of like what brought?
Jordan, you're lagging. You're lagging.
Oh, I'm lagging right now. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh man. Hey, can you hear me now?
yeah, it's better now.
It's better now. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. What is going on here? How about now? Is it
It's
okay?
lagging.
Hang on a
It's
second.
lagging. Yeah, it's lagging.
Just switching. Okay. How about now?
Wait, yeah, it's better. It's
Better
better.
now? Okay. It's weird
Yeah.
because I was on Wi-Fi and like now I switched to data. So it's like, but this is better?
Yeah, this is so much better. It's
Okay,
so
okay,
much better.
awesome. So yeah, oh, Ellie Whitley. Hey, welcome Ellie Whitley. You just
Wait,
joined in on our
this is
first
this.
live podcast. Hatrix, welcome. Welcome Selma. But yeah, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask? I guess the one question I want to ask is,
Yeah.
usually sometimes like the backstory of like why people are doing what they're doing is because sometimes family is also in this line of industry. So do you have any family that's also in healthcare as well?
To be honest, like distant, very, very distant family, but no, not no one like directly that close. No, not really.
Oh,
So
no one that close. Okay.
I'm a first generation doctor.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask, how long have you been building now? Like this platform?
Uh, Jordan, you're lagging
So,
again.
again, sorry. Yeah,
It's not a problem.
how long have you been building now this platform?
Can you? I think you're lagging. I'm not sure if it's really me. I don't think so because I have my data on. But let's see. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit stuck.
And check this out. What's going on? Can you how about how's the connection now?
It's better.
It's better? Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
it's so much
Yeah, I
better.
think yeah, okay, so much better. I think it was just like where I was in the house, so that's probably why.
Okay.
But let me just see here if I could just tune in and
Okay.
see the live chat and how this we can hear now. Okay. Cool, cool.
It's working. Good, good. Perfecto.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just asking, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so how long have you been building currently now?
We've been working on like building it and also like essentially the focus of how we're gonna do it, let's say actively since November, December, let's say December.
December? Okay, so that's like almost 90 days now, right?
Yeah, but then like the the validation and picking what specialties and interviewing doctors and all that was a little bit earlier than that.
Okay, so in total, like I guess yeah, like because that all ties in as well, right? Aside from building, because even for me, like I say that I'm on day number currently 236, but really I've been building probably for like building the tool or platform since like November 30th, right? So, but yeah, like I guess when did you start like doing that whole process of like starting to work on this project?
Okay, wait, platform only December, but the whole idea, the whole startup,
Mhm.
um, summer. No, not summer. That's exaggerated. August. August,
August, okay,
September. Yeah.
August, September. Okay,
Because
nice,
it was
nice. So
on
that's
and
a
off, so I didn't really consider it as, work and like
mhm.
working on the project and like it was essentially like students that and like interns, residents, asking it out and data collection basically to validate the
Mhm.
idea. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's still working on it, because even for me, like, when I started building what I'm building right now with day
Mm.
number, um, basically I'm building my mission from 236 days ago was to build a platform to support. early stage founders who have a mission to build something that's going to impact the world. But I didn't know what it was going to be. Initially it was going to be like a documentary series, and I was going to create a community. But then I transitioned to building like the community, and then in November I decided to build a tool. So I was like, but I never knew that, right? But so all that I think leads to is helpful, right? Even though you might not consider it work, I think like for anybody
Jordan,
here.
you're lagging. You're
Oh
lagging. You
yeah.
just lagged in the part where you said in November. So can you just
Oh,
say that again?
yeah, yeah. No, all I was saying is that can you hear me now though?
Yeah, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Yeah, all I was saying is that for anybody here that's building, part of the building process is doing those interviews, doing the research before you even sometimes even start working on something, right? And I think that's a key thing to realize that every part of your journey counts. It's not just building the tool, because like I said, for me it was from like the end of July to like November that I finally figured out, oh, okay, I'm gonna build a tool, right? So for you, it's kind of like something similar, right? Where it's like took you
Yeah,
guys a
yeah,
few months before you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
are
yeah,
like, okay, I'm ready to start building, right? So like
yeah,
how
yeah.
how 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 big is your team right now? Like in terms of like I know you have a couple people here.
Yeah. So the team is basic. We're a total of six in different like specialties and different like things. We
Mhm.
have so the combination is we have like medical students, healthcare students in general. We also have like a computer science major, like a graduate who's actually worked in like startups in the past, and a finance student as well. So like we're all students. But yeah, no, we have a recent graduate among us. So yeah, the
Okay.
computer science major graduated. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So right now you're at the stage where so what do you really need to get this like going to help you guys to I know you said you needed finances and money, like an investment to really build this out. Like
Yeah.
what are some of the key things that you need support with right now to take it to the next step?
Got it. Okay, so what we essentially need at this point is two things. We're looking for basically a partner that is essentially going to help us uh from not even the technical part is 80 to 85% covered, but then still like we need guidance in the sense of what market to like we have different priorities depending on the market we're set to enter. But then we had the idea that we okay, wait, too much explanation. Let me just tell you what we need. We need someone who's willing to partner with us and help us like enter the market. We
Mhm.
do have some, let's just call them candidates, that are willing to like try our product, but then still we want advice because you know you never know too much or enough. You should always be willing to like learn from others. So that's essentially what we're looking for. We're looking for help on like the way. I mean, we're ready, we have what it takes, and we're building it as we speak, but
Mhm.
we need the help in the sense of like someone who's done this before, or who's worked in a like a health tech, or the also one thing that's very very like challenging, let's say, is the navigating the legal aspect of it. It's
Mhm.
we're doing it right now, but still like I mean I'm not gonna say rookies, but we are. The point. The point being, we need all the guidance we can get, and
Mhm.
we're fast learners, I would say. And yeah,
Mhm.
essentially, what we're looking for someone in the industry. So, guys, if you know anyone, let us know, or send this to them, or tell them about us. By the way, Jordan, you're lagging. And now I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is the problem me? No, my connection's still on. Yeah, that's not me. I don't think so. No, wait, am I? No, I'm not. Okay. I can't hear you. I'm not really sure if the problem is from me, but hi guys, can you hear me? Y- Yeah, I can, but it's lagging a little. No, it's not a problem at all. It's fine. No worries.
so far. Yeah, so from what you said, if you, is that you need a partner who's an experienced partner and help you to
Yes.
like go to market. Now, does that partner, do you mean like that also requires investment as well?
Yes, to be honest, yes, we do need
Yeah.
investment. Like we're currently working on securing our first round of investments. And yeah, we're in the process of working on it to be honest, and let's see
Yeah.
where it leads.
Well, look, what I'll do for you guys is I will, if there's any way that people can connect with you, I'll put
Mhm.
it, like, yeah, you just send me the link and I'll, once I upload this, because this is also
Mhm.
recorded as well, I can
Okay.
put in the link so that people can reach out to you, like maybe your LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Um,
we can do that.
that's probably like the best way. And is there a specific
Sure.
amount that you guys are looking for? So that way, we can help you out with this.
To be honest, at least for the first round, we're looking somewhere around 10 to 30. Actually,
10 to
10 to
30,
50. Yeah, 10 to
10 to
50 grand.
50, when US, right? USD.
Yes.
USD. Okay, okay. That's not too bad. I mean, like that's kind of like a angel investment basically.
Yeah.
That's not really it's not really like a like go like VC type of stage yet, right? So
Jordan, by the way, you're lagging.
oh, oh my gosh. This is crazy. I keep lagging.
It's it's fine. Now you're back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um
initially it is like an angel investment because like I told you, we're working on it and we kind of almost have what we need to get off the ground, but still we need that, 10 to 50 grand to genuinely, kick push because also like I feel like a problem that many founders, also first time founders think about and don't really they don't account for is when you launch, you need to keep in mind that if your like whatever you're working on blows up and you can't have a time period where you can't accept new clients because you can't s- provide the service that you're doing. Like I feel like that's a big problem. I mean, it's a mistake I did in like my first startup I was working on, and like it's one problem that everyone talks about. So that's something to think about. So that's why we also need the funding.
can you share that actually? That problem maybe that will be helpful, that experience where you couldn't provide or deliver the service that you're providing because you guys, you didn't have the capacity or ability or you didn't build it out yet.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I think you were lying. Just in the
Yeah,
last
no,
part. You said
yeah, no, I was just sharing. Maybe you could share that experience where you made that mistake and like what happened and what you learned from it. Basically, I mean, you kind of shared what you learned from it already,
yeah,
but
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying is that like yeah, like what actually happened there, like the example.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like it didn't personally happen to me, but I learned it when I was working on my first startup. I've learned it from one of my mentors. He was telling me that another founder, uh, he was basically telling us that he did the mistake of that, he thought that he can, just enter the market, and then at some point he can deliver what he was working on to everyone. But then at some point, he just stopped accepting new clients because, the workload and what they could provide didn't match, how many people wanted in. So like
Mhm.
that's how I heard about it. And that's essentially like that's when I had the idea, like I got the understanding, or like the whole idea of that you need to plan ahead of time, not only for what could go right, but what could go wrong, and have that ready.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's this neurosurgeon that I'm really impressed by his work. He said something. He said that oh yeah, for I'm referring to neurosurgery because I'm really interested in neurosurgery. Like I wanna, inshallah, one day become a neurosurgeon. So what he said is essentially is when surgeons go into surgery, it's um they lose they either lose or win the battle with what's going on, but they need to know what could go wrong and how to fix it, regardless of what surgery they're headed into and whatever they're doing. The whole goal is not to fail, because if you fail, someone dies.
Mm. Yeah,
But
that's
and by the way, like surgeons, mm, like it's not metaphorically speaking, but the complications that could happen in surgery most of the time, or like anything that could happen, you might think it might not, but if it does, that's what differentiates a good surgeon and a great surgeon. The ability to quickly deal with what could go wrong. I speak a lot. Let's go back to topic.
yeah. No, no, it's okay. It's okay. And yeah, no, no worries. Like, cause I kind of put you on the spot there, and
No, no, no. It's
you
not
know,
problem.
but yeah, like I just wanted to maybe share some truth behind like what founders should avoid to do and not to do. But one thing you said there is, be prepared for, what could happen and what not,
Yeah,
what could
yeah,
go wrong, right? So
yeah.
I think that's a no, it's a big point, and that's why at the end of the day, why I'm building this community with Day Number is to really provide that insight to founders, especially at the early stage, right? So yeah, Scott, thanks for the feedback, man. Thanks for the feedback. This guy, he's like disorgan. Yeah. Um, but you know
Yeah.
what? What's this called? Yeah, no filter, boss. Yeah, so if you guys are just tuning in right now, basically we're just sharing about like the backstory behind what Sarah's doing with Align. It's an AI-driven platform for doctors to help them with paperwork, and help them stop from burning out. As she was saying, is like 80% of doctors burn out just from like overload with like the paperwork. So I mean, I think your mission is to really help them to focus on uh, what basically serving the clients or serving the patients, right, in the
Yeah.
best way, right? So let me ask you this, like one last thing, and maybe we can kind of end off here, is
Yeah.
like what would be kind of like, is there anything else out there right now that's kind of like this, or what makes this stand apart from other things that could be built
Okay,
or that
so
that's already built?
okay, so your question is there anything similar?
Yeah,
And
like what
then
basically is like the unique, like what would be like the USP, like the unique selling point, or how does this like differentiate between, what it is that is currently out there in the market, or what people are currently trying to build, and what's why would this actually stand out beyond other things?
got it. Okay, so if there is anything similar, I mean, when it comes to like things that help doctors in the process of like documentation and stuff, there are some devices that doctors like basically speak into, and it like transcribes, or like no, it writes down what they say into like the computer systems, and that essentially is one way the it's done, that is currently done in hospitals. But uh that is, I would say, inefficient, because if it was efficient, then we wouldn't still have, after using that, we wouldn't really have the the burnout rates and like the problems with charting, and you know long and like unproductive hours doctors spend on charting. I mean, it is a way the problem is solved, but I personally think it's inefficient. And I say this from seeing doctors using it.
Okay. Yeah, like one guy said here, there's Practice Fusion, One Touch EMR, Ultra Point. Have you heard of any of those?
Wait, which one? To use in the market summary to listen free.
Yeah.
Arcs Fusion.
Like
No, I haven't. And also, where we specifically are aiming to enter the market, there isn't any sort of you know charting tools that help the doctors. I mean, like the specific regions that we're set to enter, the market that we're set to enter, it's like done traditionally, and it's very, very inefficient.
okay. So currently right now there are certain things out there, but they're not as efficient as what you guys are trying to build, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Essentially. Okay, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I guess I was just trying to help you get the distinction of like, how
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
separate you how a line separates itself from the rest of the market, right?
Yeah.
Like what's your guys' moat basically, right? Because oftentimes like even with what I'm building with day number, anybody could build kind of like a journaling app with the tool that I've built to like document stuff, but the real moat is the community I'm building. Hey, Ali Whitley, thanks for coming in. Nice to see you here. Yeah, and it's the community that I'm building with the founders and the relationships, and also, yeah, like also me as you know, being the example of showing up. So, I guess, and there's other things that I'm also doing to create a moat around this. But yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to try to figure out with what you're building is like, what's the real moat that that other people can't like pierce, in terms of like, because hang on a second, can like the product. Oh, okay. I guess that's one of your friends trying to speak to somebody in the chat. Um,
Okay.
but but yeah, so like what would be like kind of like the moat that you guys have like in terms of like what I know you said that it's inefficiency, like you guys want to make it more efficient, but like how
Yeah.
does that happen? Like what's the magic behind that, I guess I could say. Like how are you guys making it like way more efficient than what's out there?
Okay, got it. Um, Essentially what it does is, now the doctor needs to either manually chart, if they're privileged enough and they have like they're in like their attendings, or like in high rankings, they get assistants that do it for them, or do it after them, or depending on where and who the doctor is. So they either do it manually, or they get an assistant to do it for them. And when an assistant is doing it, I don't know, it isn't the best option. But just, I want you to think about this being the traditional way, and how we're about to fix this, or like aim to improve charting, is just a doctor picks up, let's say, something as simple as their phone, and they're like, okay, so I need you to patient number or patient name, and they say everything that needs to be done, and then everything is shortened and focused data, and focused structure of writing everything. And then the doctor just gives it, let's say, a minute to scan, and it's like, okay, this is good, and everything is saved into the system. So it bypasses the process of many people being involved to get one thing done, or the individual doctor every doing every single thing on their own, and it consumes time. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. We're
Mhm,
basically like we're creating a smart assistant for the doctor.
mhm,
This
mhm. Okay.
assistant does not replace the doctor. The doctor
Mhm.
is the one doing everything. It just makes their life one step easier. That's it.
Right, right, right. Okay, yeah. No, that's good. I mean, see, I don't know like the pain that they experience, because I only see it from one side. Uh,
Yeah.
Picky Beaver says, quick question: is the LLM you are using self-hosted or is it connected to the internet? Um, in terms of, I guess, what you guys are using.
It's connected to the internet.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Cool, cool. Well, look, I don't want to take too much more longer, but no, this is the first try. I know there's been a lot of like
Yeah.
connection problems here.
It's not a problem. Not a
The,
problem.
but my main goal here was really to, really help discover like, the backstory behind, what it is, like your background, like what brought you to this point,
Yeah.
some of the challenges that you faced, and then also currently, like, where you guys are going and what you guys need for support, in terms of the next step, right? So yeah, was maybe there's something else, if there's anything else you want to share, about Align, or maybe about yourself as a founder, maybe some of the challenges that you've faced as a founder coming up to this point. I know it's still early,
Yeah.
but really,
It is. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt though.
mm,
I wouldn't. I would just say I feel like this is very very repetitive, but it's very true. Like because look, I feel like no matter what stage you are in, no matter what you're doing, you need to be able to, first of all, understand that you don't know everything, and be willing to ask for help, and learn as much as possible, because I promise you, no one is at a point where they are so good and they don't need y- you know anyone else's input. So I feel like you shouldn't think that you can get everything done on your own. You can, but you'll do it faster if you are willing to learn. Like, you just need to be really willing to learn, and put your ego aside, and just do the work. And it's not easy, it's difficult, but it depends on why you're doing it. Like, if your why is strong enough, you can do it. But if it's not, then you need a shift of perspective. And also, yeah, and you should also be able to, like, take criticism, because, like, look, when it comes to criticism, I feel like there's two ways. It's either someone saying something that isn't really true, or someone's actually saying something that could be true and you need to work on it. So you also need to be able to understand which is which, and not let it get to your head and, like, make you feel like, you're the problem. But yeah, I feel like I genuinely, it's like you said, it's very early in the process, and I'm really excited for what the future holds. And yeah, that's all from my end.
uh, no, that's really good. That's really good. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for sharing this. Anybody have any questions here that they want to ask? That's
Oh
tuning in
yeah,
here live. Maybe if there's any
anyone?
questions here.
Yeah, guys, go for it. Give me your hardest questions. Let's go.
Picky Beaver says, keep going and keep building. Oh, which is
Yeah,
great.
and also don't be afraid to look like to look stupid. That's fine. Like, that's how you learn. It's part of the process of learning. If you
Yeah,
understand and really, like, understand that, and you know genuinely understand it, you're good.
yeah, no, it's true. I mean, even for myself, like, I mean, if you look at my videos, like for over the last 236 days, like, you could say it's like cringy, as Jay Parkin says here. Definitely, but I think the whole reason why I was doing it was to hold myself accountable to keep going, right? And that's why I even built the day number tool to share with people, because it's a way to document your progress daily, even if nothing happened. To keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to show up perfectly. The key is you just show up every day. You show up
Yeah.
every day, and you're gonna have good days, bad days. Days you want to give up. But you just got to keep going. I think that's the main thing, is that if you keep going and you don't quit, eventually something will work out. I think, like, and be willing, like you said, to take that advice and criticism from
Yeah.
people that you respect. And yeah, even people that maybe they might give it to you in a way that could be rude or mean, but there might be some ounce of truth in there. Maybe sometimes they might try to give it to you in that way because they just don't know who you are or who they're talking to, but they've dealt with so many people that, like maybe founders, or maybe you're talking to a VC or an angel,
Yeah.
and they just maybe they see a lot of potential in you, and sometimes they have to give you that tough love, to
Yeah.
say, like, hey, like, what you're doing is, but at the end of the day, we don't
Yeah.
really know, because I was watching the guy Reed Hoffman, not Reed, I think it was Reed Hoffman from Netflix. No, no, Reed Hoffman, I'm thinking about LinkedIn. No, the guy that started LinkedIn, he at the when he started Netflix, it was like one of 10 startups that he was doing. And basically, he said, "Look, if you would have asked me which of one of the 10 startups would have succeeded, he wouldn't have known, right?" So most people don't even know, like, they don't know anything,
Yeah.
So
True.
we could be thinking, like, oh, like, maybe 10, maybe 100 or 1,000 people, or many people tell you your idea sucks, and there could be some point to that, but at the end of the day, like, you have to, like you said, believe in what it is that you're doing, and have a stronger why behind it, because the why will override the how. The startup is just
True.
a mechanism to deliver the why, right? Like, even the tool that I'm building, or the build tool that you're building, or anybody else here is building, it's just a means to an end, right? Like, I mean, if it was this pen that could, basically, I could talk to, and it would produce the same result, like, then it doesn't matter what it is that is doing the result that you want to do, right? So the why behind it is more important than anything, like you said. So, um, and you can have multiple whys. It could be for personal, it could be for business, it could be financial, it could be, like, it will just drive you to keep going as well, right? So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add. It doesn't seem like there's much questions here, but
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, I can't see the chat. Wait. Yeah. There isn't much questions.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, look, we look forward to seeing your journey as it develops and it progresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I think I let you into the day number community now. So if you guys are a founder who's a mission-driven founder, who wants to join other founders in their journey, support one another to succeed,
Yeah.
and to keep going and not quit. There's a link in the description about the community. You can connect with Sarah there as well and her team. And then also, I think I'll put your LinkedIn profile in the description as well, so that people can connect with you there. Whether, like you said, you needed a partner, somebody who's experienced, to help
Yeah.
you get to the market, right? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, if there's anything else you want to share, you could share.
I think that's it for mine. But thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you so much, Jordan. Uh, for everything, and yeah, and also best of luck for your like the conference you're going on the 25th. So yeah, break a leg.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. I'll give a shout out to everybody. Usually I do this. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Benny Boy, 100, Picky Beaver, Jay Parkin, Shahad, Ali Whitley, No Filter Boss. Who else? Scott underscore Truth, and this other person here, Money Maverick, Salma, uh, Hatrix. Who else here? Was there anybody else? Are busy? Yeah, everybody here that tuned in. And then Lisa WG8 said, I just tuned in. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll upload this shortly, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, everyone. And yeah,
All right, guys, take care.
take care. Stay safe.